Today, everyone knows it. It's the backdrop for millions of photos, the symbol of Paris, and of all France. But when it first appeared, people called it a national disgrace. They said it would ruin the city, a nightmare made of iron that should never have been built. Newspapers called it a monstrosity. Artists protested. Locals swore they'd never look at it. And yet, it survived everything. And over time, it became the most beautiful mistake in the history of architecture. This is the story of the Eiffel Tower, a structure meant to stand for just 20 years, that instead became an immortal symbol of human courage and imagination. 1886. The French government announced a competition for an extraordinary structure, something that would serve as the centerpiece of the 1889 World's Fair in Paris. Hundreds of proposals were submitted. Among them was one from the office of Gustave Eiffel. Their idea was both simple and insane, a gigantic iron structure nearly 1,000 feet tall. When Eiffel first saw the sketches, he wasn't convinced. But something about the concept fascinated him, maybe its audacity, its logic, or just pure ambition. He refined the design, gave it grace and proportion, and then presented it to the world under his own name. That's the moment a legend was born. In a time when most buildings barely reached 150 feet, the idea of a 1,000-foot tower was shocking. Artists and architects called it a steel monster that would destroy the skyline of Paris. A famous protest letter appeared in the papers, signed by the most prominent writers and painters of the era. They demanded the project be stopped, but Eiffel didn't give up. Construction began in 1887, and every step of it was an engineering challenge. The first task, the foundations. Each of the 4 legs of the tower required massive concrete footings that went deep into the ground to ensure stability. Then came the ironwork, over 18,000 metal parts, each cut and fitted with millimeter precision. They were joined using more than 2.5 million red-hot rivets, driven in before they could cool. About 300 workers built the tower, with no modern cranes or safety gear. Yet only one fatal accident occurred, an extraordinary record for the time. Piece by piece, the tower grew higher until finally, after exactly 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days, it stood complete. A massive iron structure over 1,000 feet tall. For more than 40 years, until 1930, it remained the tallest structure in the world. The budget had been set at 3 million francs. In the end, it cost 7.8 million francs, but it paid off almost instantly. Within just 5 months of opening, ticket sales had already recovered 75% of the total cost. Souvenir miniatures of the tower became a sensation, the 19th century's best-selling keepsake. Despite its success at the World's Fair, Parisians still despised the tower. Many called it useless and demanded it be torn down. But Eiffel had a different plan. He wanted to prove that his tower wasn't just a piece of art, it was a tool for science and progress. He installed meteorological instruments at the top. Scientists studied wind, temperature, air pressure, and the effect of weather on iron. The tower became a laboratory for engineers and physicists. They tested telegraph systems and later, early radio transmissions. By the early 1900s, the Eiffel Tower's antenna was broadcasting the first radio signals in France. That scientific value alone saved it from demolition. During World War I, the tower played an even more vital role. A powerful antenna at its top allowed the French military to intercept German radio messages. Some of those intercepted signals helped foil attacks and predict enemy movements, quite literally saving Paris. The tower, once mocked as a useless monstrosity, had become a symbol of defense and courage. The same city that once hated it now looked up with pride, not just at a monument, but at a tool of science and national strength. Technically, the tower is a masterpiece. Its 4 curved legs follow a precise catenary curve, a mathematical shape that perfectly distributes weight. Even in strong winds, the tower sways no more than 5 inches. In summer heat, it expands by about 6 inches. In winter, it contracts. It literally breathes with the seasons. And the color? Not gray, not silver. It's a special Eiffel brown created by blending 3 shades of paint, from dark at the base to lighter near the top. Every 7 years, the tower is repainted, using about 60 tons of paint, a process that takes over 18 months. Since its opening, the Eiffel Tower has welcomed more than 300 million visitors. Over 7 million people visit each year. At night, it sparkles with 20,000 lights. It's part museum, part laboratory, and part heart of Parisian telecommunications. Every 5 seconds, someone takes a photo of it. Every 10 minutes, someone proposes beneath it. The Eiffel Tower is not just a structure, it's a symbol of daring, proof that one person's vision can overcome a city's hatred. But its story doesn't end in Paris. The Eiffel Tower inspired countless imitations around the world. In 1894, England built Blackpool Tower, a smaller version overlooking the seaside. In 1958, Japan built the Tokyo Tower, a communications tower that combined French elegance with Japanese precision. At 1,092 feet, it's actually taller than the original. Replicas also appeared in China, Mexico, and even Las Vegas, where a half-scale Eiffel Tower stands above the Strip. That's how far one man's mistake reached, inspiring the world to dream higher and build bolder. Born from criticism, it survived wars, centuries, and generations. Because every great structure begins with one idea. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more tales of human genius and architectural wonder. Leave a comment below. Which masterpiece should we explore next?